On February 13th at 6:30, the two top teams in the NFL will face off to determine who will be crowned champion, who's in it, and why is it called the Super Bowl? Well, it got its name in 1967 when the NFL was trying to come up with a better name than the AFL NFL Championship game. And I mean, Super Bowl might not make much sense, but at least it's an improvement on whatever that name was. This year, we have two wildly different teams matching up in the final. On one side, you have the 12-5 Rams, who are made up of stars, and no one's surprised to see them here. On the other side, they're going up against the 10-7 young and hungry Bengals, who I didn't even think they'd make the playoffs, let alone make it this far. I don't think anyone's really given them a chance at all this year, but they've proved everybody wrong. The Rams come in with some of the most expensive contracts in the league, with three of their players being the highest paid players in their position. You got three-time Defensive Player of the Year Aaron Donald, shutdown specialist defensive back Jalen Ramsey, QB that they just traded for in Matthew Stafford leading the way on offense, and the cast-out wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., and on top of all of that, Super Bowl 50 MVP Von Miller just as the cherry on top. They picked up three of those guys in the last 12 months, and the other two have been shutting down offenses for the last 5 years, so no one's surprised to see the Rams making it this far. The Bengals, on the other hand, might not have the star power that the Rams have on one side. They're led by youth, but their resume of teams that they've beaten in the last month are untouchable, really. They took down the big bad Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl favorites to win it all this year. And they took them down twice in the last 4 weeks, once in the AFC Championship game and once at the end of the season to get into the playoffs. And they've clearly proven that they should be taken as the real deal because they've made it this far and beaten the best team in the league twice. They're led by second-year quarterback Joe Burrow, won the Heisman in college, the MVP equivalent of the college football landscape, and last year in his rookie year tore his ACL, and he's bounced back better than anyone could have expected, leading his team all the way to the Super Bowl ahead of schedule. Burrow isn't the only young stud that the Bengals have this year making waves. He also has two stud wide receivers in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, along with a star running back in Joe Mixon, all 25 or younger. Crazy to think about that. And that helps make them the fifth youngest team in the NFL, which goes even further to show the crazy odds they've had to overcome in making it this far, this early into all their careers. They're a young team, but they're the real deal. I might think they're legit, but Vegas clearly doesn't share that same trust in them in the youth as I do because they have the Rams favored to win by 4 points right now, with the over-under set at around 48.5 points in most sports books. The game will be played in the new $6 billion SoFi Stadium just outside of LA, home of the Rams. It had never happened in 50 years up until now, but for the second year in a row, one of the two teams playing in the Super Bowl will host the Super Bowl as the stadium chosen to be hosting each Super Bowl each year is chosen 5 years in advance or more. It's supposed to be a neutral site, but this year and last year both played in one of the home team stadiums. Last year we saw the Bucs win it in their home stadium. Maybe the Rams can do the same this year. We'll find out. With that being said, the Rams aren't technically the home team. The Bengals are the home team in this case, but that only means that they use the home locker room and wear their home jerseys. But kind of funny to think that the Rams are playing in their home stadium, but they're the away team. The new shiny stadium might look like a really good experience, and I'm sure it will be, but the only way that you're going to afford a ticket to this game is if you had bought Bitcoin 5 years ago and you're still holding it today, because the tickets are coming in at around $10,000 per on average. The cost of each ticket might be expensive, but what's even pricier is the 30-second ad cost. To run a 30-second ad during the Super Bowl, it's going to cost around $6 million. To put that in perspective, Game of Thrones last season, they had dragons, they had all sorts of crazy graphics you were looking at. They cost $8 million an episode, so imagine that 40-minute episode crammed down into 30 seconds just for McDonald's to tell you they have a tasty burger. And maybe it's worth it because the average viewership of the Super Bowl is around 110 million. But when you look at the World Cup final in 2018 being 5 times more viewers on average and way less money to run any ads in that, kind of shows you the price of doing business at the Super Bowl. As you may hope for, $10,000 is going to take you further than just getting you into the game. It might cost $15 to get a large soda and a hot dog, but you also get tickets to the halftime show, which features this year California natives Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, along with Eminem and Mary J. Blige, and the halftime show is normally just as big, if not bigger, of a spectacle compared to the game itself, so you know it's going to be good. And even if the musical choices are about 10 years past their prime, like most of the previous performers we've seen at the halftime show, we can always hope that they maintain that streak they've kept up so far of staying fully clothed. We're looking at you, Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. It should be mentioned that the Super Bowl has a long, storied history in its 56 years of existence, but one man makes up a huge part of that history. Recently unemployed, Tom Brady still shouldn't be counted out of the championship. After all, he's played in 10 of the previous 55 matchups. Brady himself has more Super Bowl wins, with 7, than any other franchise or team in the NFL at all has individually. His retirement gives hope to the other 31 franchises that he isn't employed by, including the Rams, who know all too well what it's like playing Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, as just 3 years ago, he took them down and won his 6th ring with the Patriots, defeating the Rams in Super Bowl 53. With all that said, the Rams have to feel good about their chances, considering every team in the last 11 seasons that's won the Super Bowl has had to go through Tom Brady on the path to getting there. And just 2 weeks ago, the Rams defeated Tom Brady's Buccaneers to make it to the NFC Championship game, and now they're here in the Super Bowl, so who knows, maybe history repeats itself and the Rams walk away with the win. So that's everything you need to know about this year's Super Bowl 56. Let me know in the comments who you're taking, the young team that nobody expected to be here, or the team with stars that are finally trying to reach the mountaintop. Let me know in the comments who you think will win, and even what you think the final score will be. And subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.